The following Let's Play has been rated for mature audiences only. Any attempts to break the game are for entertainment value only. However, if any typos happen to be found, Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. Hey! Guess what? I found a bug! I'm good at that. Yeah, you remember way back when I was doing Presto's Broken Dream? That game had been out for a long time and I found the bug that wouldn't let you beat the game. Remember how I did a Let's Play of Door the game and that game had been out for a long time and I found a bug that wouldn't let you beat the game? Well, this bug isn't as bad, but once again it's a case where it's a bug that's been in the game for a long time. You see, you know how I was using my basic art tools and I was wondering when I was going to be using my good art tools? As it turns out, I actually was supposed to be using my good art tools. But it's for some reason, the treasure chest that gave me the good art tools, it was telling the game that it was giving me the great harp, which I already had. So it didn't recognize that I had the good art tools. So there is a way to fix this, and if you're like me and you've already gotten this far and picked up the good art tools, you're probably going to want to pay attention to this. First off, we're going to want to return to the tile screen because we can't do this in the actual game. We have to go to the playtest mode, and for that we go to Edit, go down to the lower left, Story and Rules, choose the playtest option, and we're going to load the game from here. Thank goodness I don't save over the same file every time. Here's the file I saved at last, and here's the file I saved at the beginning of the previous session. We're going to load this up before the art quest. Alright, so now I'm in my playtest in the file I was in before. We're going to... how do I do this? There we go. I press start. Let's see here. Variable settings? I'm pretty sure that's it. And choose shared variables. Which one do I want to go down to? I want to go to variable number 21. Or up to 21. And change this to 2. By doing that, that tells the game that yes, I do actually have the good art tools. And as you can see, this is before I got the basic art tools. Now, we're going to do the quests I did in the past couple of episodes, the way that I was supposed to be getting the quests in the past couple of episodes, after changing the time to day. You know what? I'm in test play. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, have a little bit of fun. Let's see. Current map data settings. Where's the... Nope, that's not where time is. Modify current position. Character data settings. Precious item settings. Modify story settings. Mode number. Variable. Maybe I can't change that from in here. By the way, whenever you're in playtest, you can actually run faster by holding both triangle and R2. So here's running normal just by triangle. And here is R2 with triangle, which I'm pretty much going to be holding all the time anyway because R2 is also what lets you turn tighter. Because for some reason this game couldn't have analog control. Alright, so can I do the mode, the time change out here? Actually I can, but now that I think about it, I think changing the time would actually make it so that it's permanently at that time, so I don't actually want to do that. I want to go ahead and go to bed for real. The reason I know this is because the intentionally crappy game I created, I set it to a specific time and it turns out that prevented the game from being beatable. because the time wouldn't flow and the castle wouldn't open until a specific time that never actually came. So let me go ahead and go to sleep real quick. Actually, as long as I'm here, I might as well show off something else that you can see in playtest mode. You can see the location of invisible events. See this question mark? That's an event. This is a thing that lets me go to bed, and since I am slightly beyond it, that's why it's no longer activating. In fact, as long as I'm showing that off, let's go ahead and head back to... Wow, I can activate that event from pretty far. Let's go back to my old home, because that's where the sleeping problems happen the most frequently, and I want to show you once and for all where that event is located. Alright, so here's this event. I get too close to the bed and suddenly I'm past the marker, and that's why I couldn't access it until I faced the marker. Obviously, when you're playing the game for real, the markers are completely invisible and you can't see them. Now, playtest mode doesn't reveal everything. As you can see, it doesn't show that my father's supposed to be here, so the whole deal where going into the menu and doing this still makes him appear. Alright. Now, I've got that variable fixed so that things are working properly. Let's go ahead and do the art quest for real. I'm probably going to be skipping around here and there and only show off differences, because you obviously probably wouldn't want to see the entire quest all over again. If you do, just rewatch the past couple episodes. Tell you what, it's pretty nice being able to run so much faster. I would do playtest normally, but I wouldn't want these markers showing up. Apparently the marker doesn't appear for regular doors either. I wonder if they show up for breakable walls. I should test that, but I'll test that momentarily. For now, let's do the starting this quest thing. Alright, there we go. Ah, I've seen you brought your own supplies and they appear to be better than these. Well, you won't have much problem then. He started to give me the tools, but then he noticed that I already had my own tools. So that's one difference. Now, I imagine that this whole statue thing is going to be pretty much the same. I really wish this statue had been more interesting than simply choosing yes. Well, there's another difference. Your fame as an artist has increased by 4 as a result of using the Good Artist tools. And I am currently holding my hand showing the number 4, even though you cannot see me. So apparently by using the Good Artist tools, it actually makes my fame go up faster. By the way, as far as what would happen if you are playing this version of the game, at this moment, the game has not been fixed. An update has not been put up. Obright, you need to get to putting up an update at both the pavilion and the magazine. But as of right now, there is no update fixing this bug. So if you happen to get the good art tools without getting the Great Harp, congratulations! You got the Great Harp without getting a Great Harp. Why is that hard to say? This thing. Because that's what the treasure chest that gave me this thought I was getting for some reason. That variable I changed, it changed the wrong variable. So, yeah, that's not fixed, and I don't know what variable would need to be changed in order to undo getting the Great Harp, but since I already got the Great Harp, it's probably not going to be an issue. And if you wind up getting the good art tools without getting the Great Harp, well, it's better to have the game think you have something better than what you have than the game thinking you have something worse than what you have. And once again, by painting a portrait, instead of getting 1 fame, I get 4 fames. Now, doing this gives me an interesting opportunity to do something I forgot I should try. I should try selecting portrait again and see what happens. Hehe, you've already drawn me, silly. Alright, moving on. And then by choosing portrait again for this guy... Oh, you already drew me, didn't you? He sounds disappointed. Maybe he was hoping for a different artist. By the way, doing this did not change the picture that I drew. It's still the same picture with the same pink leaf background. Sorry to say. And then by choosing portrait again for the priest... Oh, you've already done my portrait. That I have, good sir, that I have. As long as I'm over here, I'm gonna check if I can spot the breakable walls more easily by doing this in playtest mode. I already know where one of them is. It's not too far off. Let's see if it stands out any more than it already doesn't. Nope, that's a breakable wall, but it looks just the same as it does before. There's not even an exclamation mark within the wall. Ah, well, that's a shame. And there's an event there that takes me out because you can't actually have working doors that take you out of a dungeon into a building. All dungeon doors, exits that is, all dungeon exits lead to the world map. So he had to work around that by placing an event in front of a door to make it seem like I'm going through the door into the chapel. Which is pretty creative. When it comes to the console RPG makers, you have to think of a lot of workarounds. Especially with RPG Maker 1 and 3. RPG Maker 2 you don't really need to worry about so much workarounds because it's a pretty powerful RPG Maker. Unfortunately, it's also incredibly cumbersome, which I'm gonna demonstrate that someday. Oh, a few different events in here. Kind of wonder what they're for. Alright, so by doing this for Max's wife and choosing portrait again... Oh, you already drew me! Don't make me get all dressed up again! Alright, I just figured out how to make the time flow without making the time stuck. I'm gonna not be in here. I'm gonna go to this current map data settings and set time to night. And then after this, I'm gonna set it to default again so that time actually flows. There really should have been a way to sleep until nighttime. I shouldn't have to wait all the way until night. Alright, and that leaves the last person, the Wood Elf. By trying to draw his portrait again... You've already drawn me. I'm not up for another one just yet. Now, I'm gonna test something. Something I didn't look at was my stats. I want to find out if my stats change. Alright, so... Remember these stats. HP of 43, MP 5... Let's see here. 95967025. I'm gonna do this again. $43, 5, 95967025. It seems to be the same. So, really confused if that's supposed to do anything. Well, let's go ahead and get the time back to normal. Default. Apparently, if I decided to just stay up the rest of the night without going to bed, I would still be drugged up. By the way, I really feel like I need to clarify something I was talking about in here. Alright, so first off, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but flirting doesn't do anything until I become a romantic. Now, when I came to this guy and flirted with him, this is the message I got. Just stay calm, don't panic. It's just something they do here. Just don't say anything stupid. We have to discuss some very serious issues. Yes, my sister and I have some very serious matters to discuss. I told you not to say anything stupid. So, I figured that my flirting with him was actually working, like he knew I was flirting with him. I mean, everybody else in town just wonders why I'm fluttering my eyes like that, like I have some sort of disease. But he also said that's just something they do here. And this person, when I try flirting with her... Sigh. I'm afraid I still do not understand certain aspects of your culture. So, maybe he doesn't understand what my fluttering of my eyes is doing. Maybe he does, I'm not entirely sure. He might just think it's something they do here. But I'd like to believe that he does understand why I'm fluttering my eyes. Alright, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and finish this here quest and get my 500 gold. Yeah, the eventual reward for finishing the quest doesn't actually change. Alright, I am now completely caught up to where it was that I left off. And I could go on ahead and start doing more quests, but I think I'll just leave it here since it's still part of the same week. But you know, as long as I'm in playtest mode, I figure I should try showing off a couple of things. Next time, I'm going to show off a couple of things.